Pope Marcellinus was the Bishop of Rome, Pope from the 30th of June 296 to his death in 304. According to the Liberian Catalogue, he was a Roman, the son of a certain Projectus. His predecessor was Pope Caius. Biography. Marcellinus's pontificate began at a time when Diocletian was Roman emperor, but he had not yet started to persecute the Christians. He left Christianity rather free, and so the church's membership grew. Caesar Galerius led the pagan movement against Christianity and arrived to bring up Diocletian against Christianity in the year 302. First Christian soldiers had to leave the army. Later the church's property was confiscated and Christian books were destroyed. After 2 fires in Diocletian's palace, he took harder measures against Christians. They had either to apostatize or they were sentenced to death. Marcellinus is not mentioned in the Martyrologium Hieronymianum, or in the Depositio Episcoporum, or in the Depositio Martyrum. The Liber Pontificalis, basing itself on the Acts of St. Marcellinus, the text of which is lost, relates that during Diocletian's persecution Marcellinus was called upon to sacrifice and offered incense to idols, but that, repenting shortly afterwards, he confessed the faith of Christ and suffered martyrdom with several companions. Other documents speak of his defection, and it is probably this lapse that explains the silence of the ancient liturgical calendars. In the beginning of the 5th century, Petilianus, the Donatus bishop of Constantine, says that Marcellinus and his priests had given up the holy books to the pagans during the persecution and offered incense to false gods. Saint Augustine denied the affair. The records of the pseudo-council of Sinuessa, which were fabricated at the beginning of the 6th century, state that Marcellinus after his fall presented himself before a council, which refused to try him on the ground that prima sedes nemina judicature. According to the Liber Pontificalis, Marcellinus was buried on the 26th of April 304 in the cemetery of Priscilla on the Via Salaria. 25 days after his martyrdom, the Liberian Catalogue gives as the date the 25th of October. The fact of the martyrdom, too, is not established with certainty. Marcellinus was mentioned in the general Roman calendar, into which a feast day in his honor jointly with that of St. Cletus on the 26th of April was inserted in the 13th century. Because of the uncertainties regarding both, this joint feast was removed from that calendar in 1969. St. Cletus is still listed in the Roman Martyrology under the 26th of April date, but St. Marcellinus is no longer mentioned in that professedly incomplete list of recognized saints. Pope Marcellinus, along with Pope Marcellus, is commemorated in the Serbian prologue of Ohrid on the 7th of June according to the Julian calendar. After a considerable interregnum, he was succeeded by Marcellus, with whom he has sometimes been confused. During the pontificate of Marcellinus, Armenia became the first Christian state in 301 under Tiridates III.